It's the spring equinox. With spring comes new beginnings. After a disastrous year of pandemic, we know there are many places that can't wait to begin things again. Holy Trinity Church is one such place. Stella Thiebridge will tell us about the origins of the church.
How old is Holy Trinity Church in Sutton Coldfield, the one at the top of the hill by Coshill Street? 1290? Well, that is when it was recorded in the taxation records of Pope Nicholas in the Vatican and valued at 20 marks. So a church must have been built earlier than that and was a stone building for sure. There is evidence under the current church of that and a small amount of stonework remaining on the east exterior wall of the current building. But was there an earlier wooden church at some point? Nothing is mentioned in Domesday Book, but quite possibly a structure was in place when 3 priests of Sutton witnessed the charter of Walleran, who was Earl of Warwick from 1184 to 1204. That number of clerics would have served a bigger church than the chapel of St Blaise, which had just one chaplain. That old chapel, dedicated to a popular saint at the time, was at the manor house near the Driffold, and served as the church for the manor household and the small number of residents of Sutton. Miss Bracken, writing in 1860, tells of the area we now know as Mainey, taking its name from the old word for stones. We know the word menhir from this today, if only through the character of Obelix in the Asterix books. So there were plans, according to Miss Bracken, to build the new big church on Mainey Hill, just up the road from the manor house. This is evidenced, she says, by a very large stone being found in this area in 1853-4, some 5 feet by 2 feet and made of limestone, which must have been destined for a large building, like the church. Sadly, that stone was broken up and used for road building before it could be properly assessed. She also repeats a traditional story that in the attempts to start the church building in Mainey, in the night spirits always carried away the stones to the present site of the sacred edifice. That's at the top of Trinity Hill and Church Hill to you and me. So that other hill was chosen, where the church now stands, and it is a hill equally commanding of a view, confirmed by the Earl of Warwick adding a tower at the end of the 15th century. The tower still affords a fabulous panorama across the Midlands towards Lichfield, Barbeacon, Birmingham and North Warwickshire. One feature of the church which is even older is the font, where babies, children and some adults are still baptised. This has Norman carvings on it, and the stone itself may have been Saxon. The font was removed from St Leonard's Church in Over Whittaker when a new church was built there in 1766. Its resting place, upside down in the churchyard, offered a convenient mounting block for visitors on horseback to the Shoestoke Inn next door. That is, until Richard Sadler, a local solicitor and churchwarden, had it removed to his home in High Street, just up from Holy Trinity. After Richard's death in 1856, it was given to the church, where it has reverted to its original function of housing water for baptisms to take place.
Thank you, Stella. Now, let's hear a piece of medieval church music. Thank you for listening to this podcast, which, thanks to very generous funding from Royal Sutton Coldfield Town Council, we hope is part of a longer series of Sutton celebrations. Thank you to all of the speakers, actors and musicians who've been involved with these podcasts. I've been Vale Coldfield. The theme music was written by Jobe Baker-Sullivan. The series editor was Cormac Wade, and this has been an Active Arts production. Until next time, happy equinox.
Thank you.